Hi, my name is Inora and I am gonna talk about homeostasis. Refers to stability, balance, or equilibrium within a cell or the organism ability to keep a constant internal environment. Homeostasis is an important characteristic of living things. Keeping a stable internal environment requires a constant adjustment as conditions change inside and outside the cell. The adjustment of system within a cell is called homeostasis regulation. Because the internal and external environment of a cell are constantly changing, adjustment must be made continuously to stay at or near the set point. Homeostasis can be true as of a dynamic equilibrium rather than a constant unchanging set. Yeah. The human body is made up of trillions of cells that all work together for the maintenance of the entire organism. While cells, tissues, and organs may perform very different functions, all the cells in the body are similar in their metabolic needs, maintaining a constant internal environment by providing the cells with what they need to survive: oxygen, nutrients, and removal of waste. It is necessary for the well-being of individual cells and of the entire body. The many processes by which the body controls its external environment are collectively called homeostasis. The complementary activity of a major body system maintains homeostasis. Some homeostasis examples. Humans' internal body temperature maintains homeostasis. Some homeostasis examples. Humans' internal body temperatures is a great example of homeostasis. When an individual is healthy, his or her body temperature retains a temperature of 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit. The body can control the temperature by making or releasing heat. The second example is glucose. It's a type of sugar that is found in bloodstream, but the body must maintain the proper glucose levels to ensure that the person remains healthy. When glucose levels get too high, the pancreas releases a hormone known as insulin. If blood glucose levels happens to drop too low, the liver converts glycogen in the blood to glucose again, raising the levels.
I am going to talk about the digestive system. The small intestine has three parts. The first part is called the duodenum. The duodenum is in the middle of the ileum, is at the end. The large intestine includes the appendix, cecum, colon, and rectum. The appendix is a finger-shaped pouch attached to the cecum. The cecum is the first part of the large intestine. The colon is next. The rectum is in the large intestine. Why is digestion important? Digestion is important because your body needs nutrients from food and drink to work properly and stay healthy. Proteins, fats, carbohydrates, vitamins, minerals, and water nutrients. Your digestive system breaks nutrients into small for your body to absorb them and use for energy, growth, and self-repair. Proteins break to amino acid fats, work into fatty acids, and process carbohydrates, break into simple sugars. How does my digestive system work? Each part of your digestive system helps to move food and liquid, so your nitrate or liquid into smaller parts or both. Once food are broken into smaller enough parts, your body can absorb the nutrients to where they are needed. Your large intestine absorbs water, and the waste products digested becomes stool. Nerves and hormones can control the digestive process. Now I'm going to talk about circulatory system. The circulatory system is a vast network of organs and vessels that is responsible for the flow of blood, nutrients, hormones, oxygen, and other gases to and from cells. Without circulatory system, the body will not be able to fight disease or maintain a stable internal environment, such as proper temperature and pH, known as homeostasis. Description of the circulatory system. While many view circulatory system, also known as the cardiovascular system, as simple high blood for blood, is made of three independent systems that work together: the heart, lungs, and arteries, veins, coronary, and portal vessels, according to the U.S. National Library of Medicine. In the average human, about 2,000 gallons of blood travel daily through about 60 miles of blood vessels according to the Agnes Heart Hospital. An average adult has 5 to 6 quarts of blood, which is made of plasma, red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. In addition to blood, the circulatory system moves lymph, which is a clear fluid that helps rid the body of unwanted material. The heart, blood, and vessels make up the cardiovascular component of the circulatory system. It includes the pulmonary circulation, a loop through the lungs where blood is oxygenated. It also incorporates the systematic circulation which runs through the rest of the body to provide oxygenated blood. Thank you, bros.
Hello, I want to talk about the urinary and excretory system. The excretory system is a system of an organism's body that performs the function of excretion. It is responsible for the elimination of wastes produced by homeostasis. There are several parts of the body that are involved in this process, such as sweat glands, the liver, the lungs, and the kidney system. Each kidney is made up of 3 sections: the renal cortex, the renal medulla, and the renal pelvis. The blood arrives at the kidney via the renal artery, which splits into many afferent arterioles. These arterioles go to the Bowman's capsule of nephrons, where the wastes are taken out of the blood by pressure filtration. Peritubular capillaries also surround the nephrons, so substances can be taken in and out of the blood. The renal cortex is the outer layer of the kidney, and the medulla is the inner layer of the kidney. The urinary system, also known as the renal system, produces, stores, and eliminates urine, the fluid waste excreted by the kidneys. The kidneys make urine by filtering wastes and extra water from the blood. Urine travels from kidneys through 2 thin tubes called ureters and fills the bladder. When the bladder is full, a person urinates through the urethra to eliminate the waste. The urinary system is susceptible to a variety of infections and other problems, including blockages and injuries. This can be treated by a urologist or another healthcare professional who specializes in the renal system. The urinary system works with the lungs, skin, and intestines to maintain the balance of chemicals and water in the body. Adults eliminate about 27 to 60 fluid ounces per day. Other factors in urinary system function include fluid loss through perspiring and breathing. In addition, certain types of medications, such as diuretics that are sometimes used to treat high blood pressure, can also affect the amount of urine of a person produces and eliminates. Some beverages, such as coffee and alcohol, can also cause increased urination in some people.
Hi, my name is Daniela and I'm going to talk about the nervous system. So the nervous system is made up of the brain, the spinal cord, and more nerves that are all around our body. Like they are like wires, that cover all of us, and they help different parts to communicate and allows our brain to control what is going on. So without them, our brain would be just there, and we wouldn't even be able to move and things like that. So the nervous system is divided into 2 different parts. So the first one is called the central nervous system, and that one is divided into the brain, the one that we already know. It's like kind of a mushroom, weird, here. And the spinal cord, that it's here. So the other division of the nervous system is the peripheral nervous system. So I'm going to first talk about the peripheral nervous system, and is the one that carry communication, signals, or impulses around the body. The nervy cells are called neurons. And there are two types of nerves: motor nerves and sensory nerves. The motor nerves are the ones that allow the brain to control our muscles. The brain sends signals over the motor nerves and tell our muscles to expand or contract so we can move, like like this. And the sensory nerves are the second type of nerves, and these ones carry signals to the brain to tell it about what is going on outside the world, like, for example, the skin, touch, eyes, the sight, tongue, taste, nose, smells. So, for example, if someone farts, like the nose, the smell sends the signals to the brain, and it's like, oh my god, someone farted, it smells really bad, So those are the sensory nerves. Motor nerves signals travel just from the brain to the muscles, and the other ones, senses. And the sensory nerve signals travel from the senses to the brain. And the peripheral nervous system is also divided into two main sets of nerves. The other ones are autonomic nervous system and somatic nervous system. So the autonomic nervous system is the one that is in charge of what we can control. For example, the beat of our heart. We're not saying like, hey brain, please, I want to live, or I don't want to live anymore. We don't control that, but our brain does. So the autonomic nervous system is the one that is in charge of that. And the somatic nervous system is the one that is actively controlled, like, for example, when we jump like out of nowhere, or when our arm moved out of nowhere. So that's the somatic one.
Hi, my name is Maria Fernanda Elizondo, and today I'm going to talk about two different organ systems. The first organ system I'm going to talk about is the cardiovascular. This system is in charge of transporting oxygen and nutrients and other substances that the cell requires. Also removes waste such as carbon dioxide and other substances from the cells that the cell doesn't require, and it helps the cells be more healthy. Also helps to establish body temperature and pH to the amount of pH that the body needs. And some organs, tissues, or structures that the system requires or use or works with is heart, the blood, and the blood vessels. The second organ system I'm going to talk about is the muscular organ system. This one is in charge of providing movement, such as also support and also heat production. It also helps the body to be in the temperature it has to, and also maintain the posture of the body's positions to be straight, and the organs or tissues or structure that works with this system is the skeleton, the cardiac, and the smooth muscles.
The respiratory system is a biological system consisting of specific organs and structures used for gas exchange in animals and plants. The anatomy and physiology that makes this happen varies greatly, depending on the size of the organism, the environment in which it lives, and its evolutionary history. In land animals, the respiratory surface is internalized as linings of the lungs. Gas exchange in the lungs occurs in millions of small air sacs called alveoli in mammals. These microscopic air sacs have a very rich blood supply, thus bringing the air into close contact with the blood. These air sacs communicate with the external environment via a system of airways or hollow tubes, of which the largest is the trachea.
which branches in the middle of the chest into the two main bronchi. This enters the lungs, where they branch into progressively narrower secondary and tertiary bronchi that branch into numerous smaller tubes, the bronchioles. It is the bronchioles or parabronchi that generally open into the microscopic alveoli in mammals. Air has to be pumped from the environment into the alveoli by the process of breathing, which involves the muscles of respiration. Now, the reproductive system or genital system is a system of sex organs within an organism which work together for the purpose of sexual reproduction. Many non-living substances such as fluids, hormones, and pheromones are also important accessories to the reproductive systems. Unlike most organ systems, the sexes of differentiated species often have significant differences. These differences allow for a combination of genetic material between two individuals, which allows for the possibility of greater genetic of the offsprings.